acting, the body will be moving in that direction wherever the resultant force will be more. Right now, यहाँ पे net force 0 है, and here the net force is 2, and so thereby the body will moving in this direction. These were general things which we have already discussed, right? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Magnitude in general, magnitude is the strength of any physical quantity.
Yes, sir.
किसी भी physical quantity के strength को हम magnitude के terms में express करते हैं.
Yes,
State
sir.
of motion means what? State of motion means
Sir, if it is stationary or moving.
state of motion means ना इसे हम describe करते हैं by the speed and direction of the motion, right?
Okay, sir.
Like at rest, the state of the object is considered the state of zero speed. जब
Yes, sir.
ऑब्जेक्ट रेस्ट पे होता है उसे हम जीरो स्पीड के रेस्ट पे स्टेट में कहते हैं, राइट?
Yes, sir.
ओके. Also, I did told you about the magnitude of gravity. What is the magnitude of Earth's gravity?
Sir, I forgot. It was some
It's
6 point something.
no, it's 9.8 meter per second square.
Yes, sir.
That is the magnitude of Earth's gravity. Okay, try to remember that. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's again revise these questions. By the way, you were present while we were doing this chapter in the batch.
Yes, sir.
You were present, huh? Okay, great then. So have a look at the different questions given here.
So first one is force.
Hmm.
A second one, the motion imparted to objects is due to
Hmm.
the action of force.
Action of force.
SI
Next.
unit of force is um
Hmm.
Newton, and in game tug of war, two teams pull the rope in
Hmm.
opposite directions.
Pull the rope in the opposite direction. Good. Has others not joined yet? Where is Arhan, Moaz, Ahmed? None of them have joined yet. Anyways, look at the next question. By the way, also, what was the unit of the pressure? Pressure की unit क्या होती है?
Pascal, Newton upon meter square.
Newton per meter square. Great. Okay. Look at the questions.
If the direction and magnitude of the applied
Hmm.
force changes, its effects
Hmm.
do not change.
If the direction and magnitude of the applied force changes, its
It does
effect,
change.
it brings
Also
changes, no?
change. Yes,
Mhm.
sir.
So also changes, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
The net
Next
force
question. Mhm.
the net force of an object on an object is dash if two forces acting on it in opposite
Mhm.
directions are equal.
Mhm.
0.
Zero. The value of the net force is zero. Good. Next question.
The force applied on an object may change its speed.
Speed. Great. Okay. Next question. May change its speed. Now, a force applied on an object may change. Yeah, speed actually.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Look at this question. A stone weighs 500 Newton. 500 Newton. Calculate
Yes,
the
sir.
pressure exerted by it if it makes a contact with the surface area of 25 square centimeter.
Yes, sir.
Similar questions we have written earlier as well. Try to solve this
Yes, sir.
one. Solve this. Hmm. It's 7 minutes since class has started. I'm wondering why others still haven't joined class today. एंड जो हम प्रेशर की यूनिट के बारे में बात करते हैं, दैट इज द पास्कल. इट वाज
Yes, sir.
नेम्ड आफ्टर द साइंटिस्ट. ओके ना. द यूनिट ऑफ
Yes,
द
sir.
प्रेशर वाज नेम्ड आफ्टर द साइंटिस्ट हुज नेम वाज ब्लेज पास्कल. ये फ्रेंच
Yes,
फिलोसोफर थे. ही वाज अ मैथमेटिशियन, ही वाज अ इन्वेंटर एंड अ थियोलॉजियन एज वेल. ओके
yes,
ना.
sir.
हाँ, so he was basically a polymath, well versed in multiple disciplines, right now. So
Yes, sir.
after his name, the unit of pressure was named Blaise Pascal. You want, you
Yeah.
can remember his name, Blaise Pascal.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So I've sent the solution.
Mm-hmm. You have sent the solution.
Yes, sir.
Okay, in the chat box or to me?
Sir,
Okay, okay.
I've sent in the group.
Mm-hmm. Okay. The question says 5 square centimeter, 500 Newton. Hmm. Look here. Here it's a unit now. ये यहाँ पर हमें क्या गिवन है, 25 स्क्वायर सेंटीमीटर एरिया गिवन है, राइट.
Yes, sir.
And in order to convert from square centimeter to square meter, you have to divide by.
Assalamualaikum, sir.
Yeah, walaikum salam. You have to divide by this now. First by 100, then again by 100. So this
Oh, okay,
should
sir.
be 0.0025 now.
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah, Arhan, why are you late almost 10 minutes in the class today? Try to join the class at the given time.
Sir, I was out of that.
Okay, okay. So see, this question would be solved like this. So the value should be this,
Yes, sir.
right? Okay. Hmm. So moving on, both of you look at this question now. Hmm. Pressure is directly proportional or inversely proportional, right? Look at the given
Yes, sir.
options.
Directly.
Directly proportional to what?
Sir, area of contact. So inversely proportional to area of contact.
Inversely proportional to area of contact. Inverse relation में one quantity will be increasing, other quantity will be decreasing.
Yes, sir.
Pressure is inversely proportional to area. If the area of contact increases, the pressure will decrease, right? Vice
Yes, sir.
versa. Like the pressure is in, if the area decreases, it means pressure will increase. Okay, so
Yes,
that's a inverse relation. Remember that. Inversely proportional to area of contact. Next question. Look at the next question. Also, moments ago, I told one more thing to Arham. Arhan, you also know that the unit Pascal was named after the scientist Blaise Pascal.
Yes, sir.
Okay, na?
I
So
read it.
you read it, na? हाँ, good. So he was a very influential French mathematician, theologian, physicist, inventor, right now.
Yes,
Okay.
sir. Yes, sir.
Solve the next question.
Sir, the answer is 20.
Mm-hmm.
It's 20.
It's
3 Newton.
20. Okay, both of you are getting the same answer.
Yes, sir.
That's 20 Newton. Good. Yeah, it is easy to walk on sand with flat shoes because
High larger surface area.
larger surface area, exactly. Next question. Hmm.
Say, smaller area.
Same force produces more pressure.
Yes, a smaller area.
Same force. let's say both of them are having 10 Newton, 10 Newton magnitude है force का. So same force produces more pressure on the smaller area. Great.
Yes, sir.
Let's say it's 5 square meter and this is 10 square meter. So here the pressure will be more as compared to this
Yes,
one.
sir.
Okay. Which of the following effect is not produced by force?
Change in
Moments,
mass.
Mass.
change in mass, exactly. Okay. So force जो भी हमने डिस्कस किया अभी तक, so force में हमने different things डिस्कस किए force में, right?
Yes,
Force
sir.
we did
Yes,
talk like it is basically push or pull,
Yes, sir.
right? We did talked about the types of force. So the types of force were as contact and non-contact force.
Yes,
yes,
sir.
sir.
Contact and non-contact forces. In contact forces, what were the different type of forces we discussed, and in non-contact, what were the examples?
Sir, muscular force, mechanical force,
Hmm.
and
And frictional force.
yes, sir.
Hmm. Muscular, mechanical, and the frictional force. And in non-contact forces, you had the
Gravitational force, static force.
Electrostatic and
Yes,
magnetic.
great electrostatic and the magnetic, right? Okay, and then we did also talk about forces, magnitude. Okay, now, and it has got direction as well.
yes, sir.
Magnitude is represented in terms of the unit, SI unit, Newton.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Newton was defined as the amount of force required to move a mass weighing 1 kilogram with a speed of 1 meter per second. Getting it now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then we also discuss one more thing in regard to forces, like what were the effects forces can bring. Yeah, quickly list down the points.
The change in direction, change in speed, change in shape, and change in
Change in motion.
Change
yes,
in motion. Direction change हो सकता है, motion direction, shape will change, motion will change, right now.
speed,
So these were the different changes which can see.
speed.
Or motion में ये either it can bring an object from a state of rest to motion, or from a state of motion to rest.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so these were the general things we discussed, and in regard to pressure also we discussed several things so far. कुछ और भी components है pressure के जिसे भी हम discuss करेंगे,
Yes, sir.
right? So pressure, we did say the formula is force upon area.
Newton
Unit is
E.
uh, Newton per square meter, right
Yes,
now. Newton per square meter, right? Okay, talking about the application of pressure in our daily lives. What are the application? Like हम देखते हैं कि जो बैग के straps होते हैं, yeah, it is made wider, broader होते हैं वो, right? So thereby we area of the contact is more, so thereby pressure on the shoulders in decreases while you are carrying the bag, right now.
yes, sir.
Elephants का आप देखते हैं feet broader होता है, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay ना. Or for example, if you were to walk on snow, so thereby you would prefer special shoes, right?
Yes,
In
sir.
order to increase the area of contact so that your feet are not submerged into the ice, right?
Yes, sir.
So several examples हैं हमारे पास. In fact, animals have adapted in this manner also, right?
Yeah.
So camels, a fine example is camel. One another example is that of a elephant. And in fact, elephant का आप जब leg देखते हैं ना, the sole of the elephant's leg is, it's not very hard. It's
Yes,
kind of
Yes, sir.
soft.
yes, sir.
Anyways, and also we talked about pressure is being exerted by liquids and gases also, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay, and liquids and gases will exert pressure in all directions, right?
Yes, sir.
yes, sir.
Okay, and one more thing, जैसे ही depth increase होती है, pressure will increase.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, in liquids, getting it now?
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
now let's to talk about pressure exerted by the gas also, right? तो हम यहाँ पर atmospheric pressure की बात करेंगे.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Talking about the atmospheric pressure, you know that atmosphere की weight बहुत ही ज़्यादा है. Yeah, the
Yes,
weight of the atmosphere is too much. So why humans are not crushed by the weight of the atmosphere?
Because
Yeah,
of the balance made by our blood vessels.
blood vessels. Also, pressure acts equally on different points of the body. On different parts of the body, pressure equally act कर रहा है, right?
yes,
Yes, sir.
So बचपन से हम एटमॉस्फेयर को डिफाइन करते आ रहे हैं. एटमॉस्फेयर इज बेसिकली द ब्लैंकेट ऑफ द एयर दैट इज सराउंडिंग द अर्थ, right? And it is having different gaseous composition along with dust and other particles in the lower strata of atmosphere, right? Can you guys
Yes, sir.
name the different layers of the atmosphere?
Stratosphere, exosphere,
Starting from where?
it troposphere,
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 stratosphere, and
mesosphere.
yes, sir.
thermosphere,
Exhaust,
Yes, sir.
exosphere,
Exosphere.
and ionosphere. Troposphere, stratosphere, okay, mesosphere, thermosphere, exosphere, right? And
Yes,
you see the TV radiations. The radiations, you see the ionosphere na, are having ions in them. इसमें
yes, sir.
ions पाए जाते हैं, right now. Okay, so thereby in the TV signals or in the basically in the radio signals, this plays a major role. The ionosphere, getting it now,
yes, sir.
right?
Yes, sir.
Now let's to talk about atmosphere. Is the composition of the gases basically is the composition of the atmosphere equal at
No,
equal
sir.
depths? Is
No,
it equal everywhere?
no, sir.
Obviously no, right? So as you move ahead in the layers, you get to see that the air becomes thinner and thinner, right?
Yes, sir.
So while in the layers like the troposphere, the density is maximum, right now. So air will also be exerting a pressure जिसे हम atmospheric pressure कहते हैं. The pressure exerted by the atmosphere is simply called as atmospheric pressure, right? So it is
Yes, sir.
said as the pressure um, that is exerted
Sir,
by
1,325 pascals.
that is the magnitude. Okay, different इसकी magnitudes होती हैं, वो भी हम discuss करेंगे. Again, you said its value is 1 point or 1000 and
So it's 1,325.
और स्टैंडर्ड फॉर्मेट पे हम कह सकते हैं इट्स 1.013 इंटू 10⁵ पास्कल.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
ठीक है. ओके, सिस्टमेटिक मैनर में आगे बढ़ते हैं. So as you go above in the atmosphere, the atmospheric pressure decreases. Why? Because lesser particles are there in the upper layers of the atmosphere. Getting it now? While in the lower layer, the pressure is more, right? Also, you know that since pressure is more in since the lower layers are carrying the weight of the upper layers of the atmosphere also, ये जो lower
Yes,
layer
sir.
है हमारा, because of gravity it is also carrying the weight of above layers also, right now. So thereby maximum density is found in the lower layers of the atmosphere, right? And sea level पे हमें देखने को मिलता है कि atmospheric pressure maximum होता है. Getting it now?
Yes, sir.
So first point, lower levels of atmosphere have more pressure. Second thing, at sea level, atmospheric pressure is maximum.
Yes, sir.
ठीक है? Okay. Now, in order to measure the atmospheric pressure, we have got different devices. Namely, हमारे
Yes, sir.
पास जो common device है उसे हम क्या कहते हैं? Barometer.
Sir, barometer.
Exactly. Barometer, right? And barometer are also of two types. एक जिसमें mercury हम use करते हैं, that is called as mercury barometer. another one is the aneroid barometer.
Yes, sir.
Aneroid barometer. Talking about the mercury barometer, you know mercury expands,
Yes,
right?
sir.
Mercury basically क्या होता है, expand करता है. So the mercury barometer is the barometer that we use to obtain the standard unit of atmospheric pressure. It gives the ideal atmospheric pressure हमें मिलता है ऐसे, right now.
Yes,
So
sir.
mercury barometer में you will be having a column of mercury in the glass tube, right now. और यहाँ
Yes,
पर
sir.
क्या होता है कि usually हम पढ़ते हैं कि um, you know that due to the change in temperature it expands. As the temperature
Yes, sir.
increases, mercury expands, like in the thermometer you have. Another important thing is that when you put it vertically now, vertical glass column में जब आप mercury fill करते हैं, thereby also it will be compressed due to the weight of the atmosphere. Okay, now so here you have filled this with mercury. The symbol is Hg. Okay.
Meteorologists describe the atmospheric pressure by how high
Mhm.
mercury rise
How mercury?
has risen up.
How mercury, how much of mercury has risen up, or how much of mercury falls? Okay, getting it now.
Yes,
Look,
sir.
if the atmospheric pressure is more, the mercury will be falling down. If the
Yes, sir.
atmospheric pressure is less, it will be rising up. So due to the rising or falling of this, right now, it will show you the change in the atmospheric pressure. Getting it or not?
Yes, sir.
So mercury barometer, mercury gives us the ideal atmospheric pressure due to weight of atmosphere. It rises or falls. That gives you the reading. Second, you have got the aneroid barometer, but most commonly हम use करते हैं mercury barometer. Getting it or not?
Yes, sir.
Okay ना. Similarly हमारे पास aneroid barometer भी होता है. इसमें हम mercury use नहीं करते हैं, right ना. So it is used basically हम कहाँ use करते हैं ऐसे, like you can't be using the mercury barometer in aircraft. Aircraft में अगर हमें मेजर करना है तो वहां पर हम mercury barometer के ऊपर rely नहीं करेंगे. We would be using aneroid barometer. Getting it now? Okay. So there you will be using the aneroid barometer, right? So यहाँ पे कोई भी हम liquid use नहीं करते हैं. Okay. So in aircrafts we prefer to use aneroid barometer. So hope that is clear. And one more thing about the magnitude of the atmospheric pressure also. So the magnitude of the atmospheric pressure is this much. Getting it or not? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
If there's any question in this, please do let me know.
No, sir.
Okay.
Okay. So approximate value जो atmospheric pressure की है अर्थ के ऊपर, that is this much, 1.013 into 10 raised to the power 5 Pascal.
It's 01325.
You can extend it up to that also. Okay, now basically we will be, you can extend that to that much also, right? Sometimes it would be written simply like this, क्योंकि 1 decimal के बाद आप देखेंगे यहाँ पर 0 है, right? So rounding it off basically gives you back 1. Getting it or not? Okay. So one more thing has to be noted down: the atmospheric well, the atmospheric pressure on the Earth's surface is having a magnitude of 1.013 into 10 raised to the power 5 Pascal. Okay, so do remember these points,
Yes, sir.
right? So these were the things related to the atmospheric pressure. Also, there's one more thing related to the chapter, and that is the thrust. We were left to talk about thrust, right? Huh.
Yes, sir.
So what is the difference between the thrust and the pressure? Anyone who remembers? Yeah. What is the difference between the two? Hello.
Yes, sir.
What's
Hmm.
second?
Also one more thing. जैसे भी हम बात कर रहे थे एटमॉस्फेरिक प्रेशर के बारे में, so you know कि like why the human head does not gets crushed, or the body does not gets crushed due to the weight of the atmospheric pressure, because this is a very huge magnitude. ये बहुत ही बड़ी magnitude है. This is a huge value, right? So you
Yes, sir.
say like the pressure is equally distributed on different parts of the body. So thereby, another thing, as Arham said, that since our blood is also being pumped by the heart at a great pressure, right, and this generates internal pressure in the blood as well, right? So due to the flow of the blood, also pressure is external pressure is generated. So thereby, kind of, it balances the external force. Hence, the body does not get crushed,
So what
right?
did you ask?
Yeah.
So what question did you ask?
I was asking what is the difference between the thrust and pressure. Thrust and pressure के बीच में क्या difference है?
So atmospheric pressure is defined as the force per unit.
No, simply thrust. Simply thrust and pressure, not the atmospheric pressure. And that is the question. What is the difference between thrust and pressure? Anyone who remembers what we did talked about this while we were doing the chapter?
So a thrust is a force with a liquid or gas that pushes against an object floating
No,
in it.
नहीं, thrust आपको देखना ही है ना कि thrust will always act perpendicularly. जो thrust होता है, it always acts perpendicularly. While talking about this, a force, it might not always be perpendicular to the given object.
So you said
Thrust, yes.
so you said pressure, difference between pressure and a thrust.
Up thrust नहीं, up thrust नहीं. Look, let me write it. I am asking you, what is simply thrust? Look here. Talking about thrust, what do we understand by thrust? Up thrust is a different thing. We will be talking about that also. But right now, let's to talk about thrust. Thrust से हम क्या समझते हैं? See, let me bring you to this slide. See, you have any given object. Okay, a force acts, let's say, perpendicularly to it. Okay, so thereby it will be called as specifically thrust. Right now, while force could be acting in any given direction.
Unit,
प्रेशर किसी भी डायरेक्शन से लग सकता है, या
unit area of a surface.
इन यूनिट एरिया ऑफ सरफेस आल्सो. व्हाइल स्पेसिफिकली थ्रस्ट की अगर हम बात करते हैं ना, सो वी डू से दैट thrust is the force that is acting perpendicularly on a given surface, right? कहीं कहीं पे आप फाइंड करते हो कि नॉर्मली लिखा होता है NORMLLY. Normally basically here is being referred to the perpendicular. Perpendicular, you all know, at an angle of 90 degree, right? So do know about this thrust. Has Moaz Ahmed joined today or not?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we say the force that acts perpendicularly. Sometimes in definition it is written as normally also.
Yes, sir.
Normally here not refers to the in general sense we use the word normally. It refers to perpendicularly. Okay. So the force that acts perpendicularly on a given surface. Getting it or not? Okay.
Yes, sir.
So now the question comes, what is the difference between thrust and pressure now? Thrust and pressure में क्या difference होता है फिर? Yes. What is the difference between the two then? Hello. I say that thrust is the force that acts on an object perpendicularly.
Yes, sir.
Getting it now. But what about the pressure? Pressure हम किसे कहते हैं? Pressure is simply defined as force per unit area now.
Yes, sir.
This is thrust, this is pressure. When you talk about this, you say that force acting perpendicularly. While when you talk about pressure, you say force acting on a given unit area. Are you guys getting it or not? So pressure could be acting in any direction. किसी भी direction में अगर pressure हम apply कर रहे हैं, you will be calling it, किसी भी direction में हम force apply कर रहे हैं, you will be calling it as pressure,
Yes, sir.
right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. While for thrust, it has to be acting perpendicularly to the given surface. Hope you guys are getting this thing.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So hope that is clear. Okay ना, ये काफी confusing concept लगता है बहुत बार लोगों को. Alright ना, हाँ. So what could be some of the example of the thrust then? Thrust के क्या examples हो सकते हैं?
So when we push an object in a bucket filled with water, it eventually comes up.
Right. So वहाँ पर जब आप push कर रहे हैं in a bucket filled of water, you are pushing an given object in the downward direction. Or let's say कि ये simply float कर रहा है. Let's say कि this object is simply floating. So downward direction में इसकी weight लग रही है.
Yes, sir.
The weight is applying force in the downward direction, right? While it is being able to float because a force is acting on it in the upward direction also. इसे हम up thrust कहते हैं.
Yes, sir.
What do we call that as? Up thrust. So up thrust, the name it means the upward force that is acting here. And ये upward force भी perpendicularly act कर रही है इस body के ऊपर.
Yes,
Getting it, guys?
yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay ना. So hope that is clear. So thrust के कुछ examples हमारे पास क्या हैं? Examples are a body submerged, immersed in a liquid.
So does it act on gases also?
Yeah.
So does it act?
Does it act? Arhan, please complete your question.
So does it act on gases also?
Thrust?
Yes, sir.
No, I don't think so. Thrust will be acting on gases also. Because वहाँ पे एक object के ऊपर perpendicularly force लगना चाहिए, right ना? So on gas, I can't think of that because वहाँ पे एक सभी direction में forces लगता है. The particles of the gaseous medium, or whether you have the liquid medium, it acts in different directions. The particles are moving here and there in the different direction.
Yes,
While in a solid, the particles are at kind of having lesser amount of kinetic energy right now. So they are not moving here and there. So there will be a perpendicular directional force here. Hope that is clear to everyone. Okay.
yes.
Let's move ahead then. So upthrust, as I said here, look at this image. The upthrust, which I said, the upward force exerted by a fluid on an object is known as upthrust. And another name for it is buoyant force. Yeah, you guys remember the buoyant force which we discussed in the class when we were doing this,
Yes.
right? So due to the weight of the board, the downward force is acting, and due to the liquid also, an upthrust is acting in the upward direction. Okay. Also, you know that the amount of liquid that is displayed, you know that when you immerse some object in the liquid, some amount of liquid is displaced, right now? Getting it now?
Yes,
So
sir.
the amount of the liquid that is displaced will be equal to the magnitude of upthrust. मैंने क्या कहा? Let's say you have immersed a given object in a water body, right? So you know when you immerse it, some amount of water is displaced, right? Basically, the water level rises now,
Yes, sir.
right? So actually, it is kind of displaced here. So the and there will be an upthrust here also, or which we also called as
Buoyant
bind
force.
force.
Yes,
Getting
sir.
it now? So
Yes.
amount of displaced liquid is equal to bind force.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now you can think like, will the units be equal? Yes, the units can be equal. Force, the unit of force is Newton, right? And यहाँ पे amount of displaced liquid को हम weight में measure करेंगे. Okay now, we'll
Yes, sir.
consider it's a weight,
Yes,
right?
sir.
So weight is nothing but
Mass
force,
into gravity.
mass into gravity, exactly, right now. So that will also be having the unit Newton simply. So in that case, the amount of displaced liquid is equal to the bind force acting on it. Now there are three cases which happens. See, if the question is if the uh, if the bind force acting is more than the or equal than the amount of water displaced, if the bind force that is acting on this object, if it is either equal to the weight of the body, no, you have to consider this thing. अगर ये bind force जो act कर रहा है, if it is equal to the amount of water displaced, so thereby it will float, right?
Yes,
Or even if it is greater then the amount of displaced liquid, in that case also it will be floating.
yes,
Getting
sir.
it now, right? But if the weight here is more than the bind force, if the amount of water displaced is more than the bind force, then the body will be,
Think.
it will sink basically. Hope everyone is getting this concept.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Aram, it is clear now? Okay,
Yes, sir.
so that is the thing about it. So now let's do some questions from the chapter. Yeah. So shall I assign them or both of you would like to answer?
Sir,
You
assign.
can assign them.
Okay, okay. So question number one, let's Arhan, you do this one. Only two, you two are here in the class, right? Okay.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Next question, Arham, and then Arhan. Okay. Look at the given figures here.
Sir, it's option A. Magnitude
Okay.
of force is applied by A is greater than that of B.
Hmm. Magnitude of force applied by A is greater than that of magnitude B. Correct. Yeah. Now, Arhan, you have to solve question number three. Yeah, Arham, what about you?
Sir, it's a frictional force alone.
That is frictional force.
Yes, a frictional force alone.
Mhm. So in the circuit shown in the given in the figure, when the circuit is completed, the hammer strikes the gong. Which of the following forces is responsible for the movement of hammer? So hammer के movement के लिए कौन से force यहाँ पर है responsible है? So you are saying it's a frictional force alone.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
sir.
Yeah, what do you think, Arhan? Is that correct?
Sir, it could also be mechanical force, but there is no option.
Look here. In order to power an electric bulb, this is an electric sorry, not bulb, I mean to say this is an electric alarm now,
Yes, sir.
right? So how it is being charged?
The magnets.
मैग्नेटिक फोर्स होगा या फिर यहाँ पर क्या होगा, इलेक्ट्रोस्टैटिक फोर्स रिस्पॉन्सिबल क्या हो सकता है?
No, sir.
No, sir.
नो. ओके, व्हाई इज इट सो?
Just
Sir, there
this
is no charged
is
or uncharged body.
दिस
yes,
इज
There is no charged or uncharged body.
ओके. एंड व्हाट इज द लॉजिक फॉर अनदर ऑप्शन यू गाइस आर सेइंग? यस, हेलो. Look here, how does an electric alarm bell work? Yeah, you see here, you can see here there's a circuit. एक circuit यहाँ पर होता है. Have you guys seen the construction of a alarm bell?
No, sir.
See, this is the battery here. Multiple cells को connect करके battery का formation होता है. Right now. Now you see that when the circuit is completed, so thereby gravitational force तो बिल्कुल नहीं होगा. Right? Talking about the frictional force का यहाँ पे कोई role नहीं हो रहा है. Right?
Yes, sir.
Look here. Magnetic force, how will it be responsible? Will the magnetic force be responsible for the working of this?
No, sir.
Huh? So the only option you have got the electrostatic force here now. Yes.
Yes, sir.
So electrostatic force will come into play here. Getting it now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Question number 3. During dry weather while combing hair, sometimes we experience hair flying apart. This is due
Electrostatic
to
force.
exactly
Electrostatic.
electrostatic force. Read the question number 4. Yeah, read the electrostatic force. Read the next question.
A figure.
Let me show you the figure as well. Here the figure is given.
Yes, sir. So can you show the question?
D option.
Yeah, let me show the question as well.
It was a D option.
It would be D option.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
The pressure at B will be
Pressure,
greater than pressure
it will
A.
decrease. Increase.
It will increase as the depth increases, the pressure
Yes,
will
sir.
increase. So option D is correct. Also, ये जो question है, question number 2. I remember there's a concept of magnetism also in an electric bulb, right now.
Compass.
So there's yes,
It's it has a use of compass.
compass हम use नहीं करते हैं. In electric bulbs, compass are not used. Compass में magnets use होता है, but here compass, why you would be using compass? Compass is used in order to find the directions now. Yeah. So यहाँ पे you see there are coils rolled into this, and this acts as a solenoid, and solenoid generates magnetic field. Right now. So
Yes, sir.
magnetic field, I think magnetic field also would also be responsible. But the options are कि यहाँ पे फिर हम ये देखते हैं ऑप्शन नंबर बी. तो यहाँ पे स्टैटिक चार्ज की बात हो रही है ना. तो स्टैटिक चार्ज में तो हम देखते हैं कि दो ऑब्जेक्ट्स के ऊपर चार्ज क्या होता है, दो ऑब्जेक्ट रेस्ट पर होता है. स्टैटिक हियर इज बीइंग referred to the rest position of the objects,
Yes,
right?
Yes, sir.
But while here there will be flow of current in the wire now, so electrostatic force नहीं हो सकता है. Option number C would be the correct answer here. Okay now.
Okay, sir.
Is that clear now? Is the doubt clear now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Question number 5.
So can I assign them?
अच्छा एक मिनट, क्या है यहाँ पे. हाँ, look here. Look here, the options answers are already written. Hold on for a minute. I will reshare my screen. Okay.
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Also, in the next class, do tell me which chapter you guys would like to start.
Sir, metals and non-metals.
Metals and non-metals. Okay. And what do you say, Rahan?
Yes, sir. Sure.
That same chapter we
Sir,
can
have you
begin.
finished that chapter?
Which one?
Metals and non-metals.
Metals and non-metals, Rahan, we discussed in the class, I believe, right?
No, sir.
No,
No, sir.
we haven't discussed that chapter.
No, sir. I don't
Sure.
remember.
Metals and non-metals, I think we have discussed.
So we have discussed chemical effects of electric current, not non-metals.
Okay. So, okay. If that's the case, right after this class, I will be doing that chapter. Okay, now once this chapter ends, screen is visible. Look at the next
Yes, sir.
question. Question number 5.
Yes, sir.
So still the true and false answers and all the answers are written.
Mm-hmm.
So still the true and false answers are
Okay,
written.
okay. I didn't saw that. While I took the screenshot of this now, so there I didn't saw that. Anyways, hold on for 1 more minute. Yeah, now it's better. Also, you guys have the NCERT example books or not? NCERT
No.
example books है आप लोगों के पास नहीं?
No, sir.
Okay, I would highly recommend to either get that or either take the questions of that from take the questions from exemplar books online and do solve them as well. Question number
Yes,
5.
sir.
Two objects repel each other. This repulsion could be due to
Magnetic force.
Magnetic effect.
due to the magnetic effect.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, magnetic force only. But then look at the option number D also, guys.
The electrostatic force is a attractive force, not a repulsive.
Yes, sir. It attracts.
Attractive force. Exactly. Okay. Question number 6. Which one of the following force is a contact force?
Force of friction.
Yes, sir.
Force of friction. It's contact force. Good. Question number 7. Yes.
So from
So
B and
BC.
Mm-hmm.
A, B and C.
A.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. B and C. Good. Next question is question number 8 isn't here. Look here. Starting from this question. Okay, now
Yes, sir.
start from this question here. Question number 4 says start करेंगे. Okay.
False, sir.
Yes, sir.
So the force of atmospheric pressure is negligible. That is false. Water in river flows downwards due to the force of gravity.
Yes, sir.
True, sir.
That is true.
True.
Okay. Water in river flows downward due to the force of gravity. That is true. Apart from that, also you have got the inclination as well. But
Yes, sir.
there also force of gravity will come into play.
Yes, sir.
Question number 6.
So false.
Yes, sir.
So the
False.
force exerted by a magnet on a piece of iron is also a contact force. That is obviously false.
So the next
Muscular force is a contact force.
True,
True.
sir.
True. Force is unable to change the shape of an object.
false.
False.
Obviously false. Right? Okay, give answers in one word or one line. Question number C. Name two contact forces.
So
Muscular mechanical.
can you assign them?
Do one thing now. Arhan, you take the how many questions are there? 8 questions, no? You take the first 4 questions. Arham, you take the next 4 questions. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, start answering them.
So the first one is mechanical and muscular. Second one is
Mechanical.
magnetic and electrostatic force. And
Mhm.
the third one is walking.
Walking, like a moving ball comes to rest after some time due to friction.
Yes.
Next,
So the fourth one is magnetic force.
magnetic force. Question number 5.
Sir, pressure.
That is pressure. Great. Sixth,
Gravity. Force of gravity.
question number 6 is objects or things fall towards Earth because it pulls them. It is example of which force? Force of gravity, and we studied under the gravitational force. Okay,
Yes,
so
sir.
gravitational force you would answer it. Okay. Next question.
Magnetic force.
Last one.
Frictional force.
Frictional force. Okay.
Excuse me, sir.
Also, while we are walking, we are pushing the ground backward or forward.
So backward.
Backwards.
Backward. Okay. Okay, let's do. Yeah, Rahan, you were saying something.
So is nuclear force a repulsive force or an attractive force?
Nuclear forces are attractive forces. Okay, it overcomes the repulsion between the plus charges in the atom, that is between the protons.
Yes,
Protons के बीच में repulsion होता है. Getting it now?
yes, sir.
Okay. Answer few more questions. Anxiety questions we haven't. We already have done those questions. Okay, now. So
Yes.
we won't be redoing those questions. Okay. Okay. Let's take some more questions. We can increase the pressure by exerting same uh, force. How do we explain this? We can increase the pressure by exerting same force. How?
So
So by
relative area
decreasing
of
the
contact.
surface of area.
Right. Acha, do tell me one more thing. Why double tires are provided at the rear wheels of the trucks?
So
ट्रक के
because
rear
the
wheel में
trucks carry very heavy things which may cause wear and tear on the tires. That's why it increase more tires increase the area of contact, which decreases the pressure that act on the tires.
that is one of the reason. And apart from that, also most of the weight of the vehicles they lie on the rear axle. Rear axle जो होता है हमारा front or rear, you understand? No, I'm talking about the rear. Let's say the tractor है. Okay, say this is a tractor. Okay, so this is the rear wheel, and most of the weight is lying on the rear wheel now. So
Yes, sir.
as compared to the front wheel, rear wheel is more broader and more bigger, right? Hence, in order to decrease the pressure, getting it or not?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now you also see like the wooden planks of concrete sleepers are kept below the railway line. ऐसे क्यों हम करते हैं? Railway line हम देखते हैं that concrete or earlier wooden planks were placed just beneath the railway tracks. Why do we do so?
The rocks are also placed.
Rocks are also placed, but what is the reason to place this here?
Sir,
So again,
it
increase
increases
the area
the
of contact.
surface area.
It
Thereby
increase. Mhm.
pressure.
Exactly. So see the thing here is that the area on which the weight of the train is acting now uh, increases, which results in the decrease in the pressure on the ground, right? So due to which the train moves easily on the rail line,
Yes,
having any without having any risk of accident, right?
yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Do tell me one more thing. Like I have taken an inflated balloon. एक inflated balloon मैंने गैस balloon लिया है, अब उसमें मैंने एक jar में place किया, right?
Yes, sir.
And let's say you have taken a jar and you have placed an inflated balloon in here, right? And let's say that it is connected to an evacuating pump. एक evacuating pump से हमने connect किया हुआ है ऐसे, right? So what will happen to the air that is inside the jar? What happens? No, answer this thing. Okay, what would happen if the air inside the jar is pumped out? Understand this thing again. मैंने कहा कि मैंने एक beaker लिया है and over this beaker I have placed an inflated balloon. Okay. Now मैंने beaker के अंदर की जितनी भी air है I have sucked it. Okay, using a pump. Okay now. Using a evacuating pump, I have sucked up the air. So what would
Yes,
happen
sir.
to the balloon now? What would happen to the balloon now?
So it will puff since there is no pressure in the beaker.
Yes, sir. Atmospheric pressure will crush it.
Yes, sir.
Exactly. So that is the thing. So eventually the balloon will explode, right?
Yes, sir.
Good. Okay. Also, do tell me one more thing. Did I not told you guys one more thing? Like or in any other class, I would have told this. Like the weight of the person on moon becomes 1/6 of his weight on Earth.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. For example, if something weighs 90 Newton on Earth, on moon it would weigh 15 Newton.
Yes,
Yeah.
Yes,
sir.
So what would happen? like if an astronaut travels from the Earth to the moon, how does his mass and weight will change?
So due to no atmospheric pressure present in the space.
How that is correct. Since there is a very thin atmosphere there in the moon has got a very thin atmosphere, very thin, almost nil, right? So वहाँ पे mass and weight में क्या difference होता है? I'm saying that suppose an astronaut is coming back from moon to Earth. So what would be the change in his weight and what would be the change in his mass? Or will there be any change in his mass?
So they will not be changed in mass, but they would be changed in